Okay, welcome everyone. We are back at the league, round 4 at Laguna Seca. I am joined by my co-commentators Toasty and Elaine. How are you two doing today?
Yeah, doing good. Uh, week 4 already. Um, we're at the halfway point now through the season, and what a track to start the second leg of the championship. Really tight, twisty track, lots of elevation changes, the corkscrew, of course, and sand everywhere.
Yes, certainly Laguna Seca produces tons of great racing, just like Interlagos. Elaine, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here as always. We're entering the latter half of the championship, but we have a sprint race going on tonight, so there's always a big chance to shake things up. I'm excited to see if Sir Hames can replicate that like barnstorming appearance he did in Bathurst, and I'm also curious to see with a couple notable absences if someone's going to be able to get on the podium for the first time.
Sounds good. And before qualifying starts, which will start very shortly, let's go quickly over the current championship standings of the GR4 class. So we got Sir Hames in first place still with 61 points, representing HHR Racing Mazda. 32 Nasty PSVR in second place with 55 points. B-Ship at Shinra Electric Power Company in third place. Little Jacob in fourth, and Ads in fifth place. Token Timmy is teammate, followed by Beto in seventh place. Dinosaur in eighth, Motsky in ninth. Bryn and Killer Pros, the two VIR Racing Chevrolet Corvettes in 10th and 11th. Rogue Nipra in 12th. Racer X in 13th, and Lamb King in 14th. I don't have the alternate racers in here, but I should add them. So the current team standings, Bahamut Subaru is currently in first place, but followed closely behind by HHR Mazda with 73 points, so only a 3-point difference between the two. Avanti Corsa Honda with 66 points in third. Maelstrom Motorsports Nismo at fourth place with 59 points, and then only 4 points behind them, Shinra Electric Power Company Toyota. So close battle between even third, fourth, and fifth. And we have VIR Racing in sixth, and then CrowdStrike Racing Lexus in seventh. So let's get into the qualifying. Let's see here. Few cars sitting in the pits still. It looks like Nasty PSVR is just getting out of the pits. Token Timmy seems to be the first on his out lap. Already picked up a 1.5 second penalty there.
Oh, he's not able to serve it there. He got it too close to the penalty line. So that's going to be next lap. He'll serve it, and then the lap after that will be heavily compromised because it's right at the start of the straight. So unfortunately that is taking 2 time laps out of the equation there.
Yeah, so Toasty, what in your opinion makes Laguna Seca such a good track to race on?
Well, it's a challenging track for sure. I would say almost as challenging as Bathurst at times, and it's because of these both the sand and the gravel on the outside and inside of every corner, but also the curbs. There's these high raised curbs. The drivers call them sausage curbs, and if you run over one at speed, they launch your car either into a wall, one of the sand traps, or sometimes spinning across the track. So it's definitely demands precision as well as consistency. So it's challenging in that way. and it's very difficult track to pass on as well. We have this long, well, sort of long, sort of straight, pit straight going over the start-finish line here. But really, that's one of the only passing opportunities, one of the only obvious ones. Going into turn 2 here, the Andretti hairpin. Most drivers will call that turn 1, but it's turn 2 on a track map.
Yeah, I think every track map that I've seen, it's turn 2. So yeah, I agree. I think we'll see the majority of, or at least I don't know if we'll see the majority of passing happen at turn 2, but turn 1 does help the person, whoever's on the inside, gain a little bit of an advantage going into turn 2 if they're on the inside. So that helps if you're currently battling someone down the front straight. But we've also seen battles up past turn 5 and turn 6 into the corkscrew, and those are also incredibly exciting to see, and I hope we see some of that today.
Yeah, during our academy session with the track walk, talking about just how difficult it is to go side by side through the corkscrew with the elevation change, the compressions, the crests, really wreaking havoc with the amount of mechanical grip you have at any given moment. So a pass into the corkscrew, it could be done, but drivers will want to get the move done before they turn into that corkscrew, because it is a very challenging sequence of corners. Even more challenging side by side, of course, as you could imagine.
In preparation for this race, Wonka, I know you have access to all of like the team channels. Were they talking a lot more about mechanical grip tuning as opposed to the previous rounds? I feel like Interlagos was a very like downforce heavy discussion. Just what was the chatter among some of the teams about how they were going about tuning their cars?
Honestly, there's so much chatter this week about setups. I was not able to go through and read everything. It's crazy how much the communication happens in these team channels and how much is discussed around setup and stuff. It's really, really wild, actually. In general, though, I think a lot of people are focusing on trying to add a lot of downforce on this track as well, since a lot of these corners are sort of medium speed. But I don't know, to be honest. I don't know what the ideal setup is, because I haven't had time myself to test anything out. I wasn't involved in any other teams setting up their cars as well for this week either, so for me it's just kind of like a black box at the moment.
And I'd say this track requires kind of a mix between low speed acceleration zones and medium speed. A couple high speed corners you need the downforce for. Turn 3 you need a bit, and then 4, 5, and 6 you need a lot. And 9 and 10, of course, also mid to high speed corners. But then there's also the traction out of the last corner is incredibly important, because I mean that's the one passing zone we've talked about, other than the corkscrew. It's just the easiest opportunity you have. So to get that speed all the way down the straight, you need a great mix between downforce and mechanical grip, like we were saying.
And I think a lot of it is going to come down to the driver preference and driving style and how they manage to save their tires in the race, to be honest. The Laguna Seca in particular is pretty harsh on that front right. As we can see here with Matsu's car, it's already down at 30%-ish, 20%. So I think it's a good mix of keeping pace, but also treating some of the corners more lightly if you plan on saving your tires, and then factoring that decision into your setup as well. So a lot of things at once, really.
Yeah, I feel like most teams by week 4 they're going to have a good handle on how the car performs with different tunes, and have really developed the setup over the course of the season. So they'll have a good understanding at this point what makes the car do what and what to expect as a driver, with anti-roll bar, suspension stiffness, all of those sorts of things. A lot of drivers have been learning recently the more advanced side of tuning with the dampers, compression and expansion, and really integrating that into kind of the routine of testing things out. And we've seen a lot of drivers improving, not only in the driving aspect but also everything else that is involved. I mean, there's so many areas to making a car fast over an endurance race. So it looks like Sir Hames setting the fastest time right now, 1:27.999, barely into those 27s, but it counts. And he's just put a new set of soft tires on. That's about a minute left in the session. Gonna try and put down an even faster lap this time before the sprint race goes ahead.
So we got a new addition to the roster today. Ali Bali joins us today, running for Bahamut Subaru. He will be filling in for, I believe it's little Jacob today.
And the driver who filled in for Bahamut Subaru last week at Interlagos is driving the Shinra Electric Company 86 just in front of him on track there.
Is that Nixon? Yeah, Nixon. Okay. It took me so long to figure out who that was. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I should have mentioned the name, huh?
Yeah, Little Jacob's absence today is, I mean, it sucks that he's not here racing today, but I do think it throws that final podium position up in the air. I know right now the championship is looking like it's going to come down to Sir Hames versus 32 Nasty. Bishop is in third in the points, but the final podium position has switched pretty much every race. I don't think there's been anyone consistently in third place. Sir Hames and 32 Nasty have claimed the top two spots in recent races, so lots of play for tonight. Ali Bali is a great driver though, and is showing a lot of pace already. It's more about how fast he's going to come to grips with the car and its tire wear. Again, piggybacking off what Toasty said, a lot of the other drivers are very knowledgeable about their car and can anticipate wear rates and have like a default strategy going into each weekend. So I'm very curious to see how he's going to do. And even if he's not on the podium, he can still shake things up by taking a fastest lap or getting right in the midfield and shaking things up there.
So speaking of podiums, we have Beto sitting at second place right now with the Avanti Corsa car. And I believe everyone is just about done with their laps, I think. I think the only person who's finishing up their lap is it Ads? No, I can't see who that is.
It's Ali. It doesn't look like he improves though.
Yeah.
Nixon improved by 1.5 seconds, went from 11th to 5th on the last lap. A great effort there.
So taking a look at our final qualifying results here. We have Sir Hames with our pole position with the 120. Oh, he improved on his 999. So you got a 127.892. Firmly in the 27s. Pretty large gap to Beto. There's a 1.3 second gap there. Beto sitting at second place, followed closely behind 32 Nasty PSVR. Motsky in fourth place with the first Bahamut Subaru, followed by Nixon. Solid showing by our alternate driver in for Shinra Electric Power Company. Bryn in sixth place. Ali Bali, a solid showing for his first LRC debut at seventh place. And Ads in eighth place for the Maelstrom Nismo Nissan. Ninth place is Dinosaur. 10th place, Bishop. Token Timmy in 11th, Killa Pros in 12th, Racer X in 13th. I think he was out last week, so welcome back, Racer X. And finally, Lamb King in 14th place. So it looks like Sirhaim's got some really good pace here. But what's interesting is Beto and 32 PSVR, 32 Nasty PSVR, both of the Avanti Corsa NSXs are in second and third. This could mean a lot for the team championship in the GR4 class, seeing as that they're only 3 points behind. I think if they finish with these standings representative of what's qualifying, I think Avanti might leapfrog HHR in the Team Constructors Championship. But we'll see.
Yeah, I think all season we've seen the Mazdas struggle a little bit with long stints on the tires. The Hondas have really a big advantage there, them being mid-engine, using a lot more rear tire with the balance of the car. So I wouldn't be surprised unless we see a Sirhaim's do an incredible what's the word I'm looking for? A strategy that no one else has thought of, and really just storms ahead.
Unorthodox.
Yeah, there we go.
I don't know if that was actually the right word you're looking for, but it works.
It works.
Now, we're going to start off with a sprint race for the GR4 class. It's going to be 7 laps. And the grid will be in reverse championship order. So the current championship standings, that will be the grid formation, but in reverse order. And the grid start for the sprint race will be, it actually won't be a grid start, it will be a rolling start. So the sprint race start will be a rolling start. Judging based off of the positions, I don't think the grid has been set quite yet. I think Dinosaur's still working on that. But it's interesting, we decided to go with the rolling start for the sprint, and I think it's a great decision because previously with the standing start, it was really easy for the top runners in the championship who started in the back of the grid to essentially just pass half the grid on the first turn. And I think it's really nice to have a rolling start where it makes it a little bit more difficult for them to go up the field.
Yeah, we have done a few sprint race practice starts with the rolling start, and something to watch out for is 8th to 10th place, I think it is, gets started right on that last corner, some right near the apex of it, so they're gonna have to be really aware how much turn in they have their wheel. Make sure they don't fly off the track there, because it releases you at some really inconvenient spots. So hopefully no incidents will be caused there as a result.
Yeah, similarly, Bathurst had a similar situation where I believe it was 7th or 8th. You would start right on like the crest that was on the last corner, and it was really easy to spin out, because it's already easy to spin out on the last corner at Bathurst. And it was, I can't remember who it was. I think it was maybe a little Jacob or someone, and they just went right off into they went to the right and they just ran into the barrier immediately and got damage or something like that. It was really unfortunate. I don't know if that was, I can't remember if that was the league race or if that was a practice. I think that might have been the practice before the race. All right, so we got our 30-second warning start here from our league organizer, Dinosaur. We'll be hopping into the sprint race fairly soon.
Yep, some drivers taking the car back onto the track again, getting a feel for slightly different conditions. I believe this is slightly later in the time of day. So track conditions will be a little bit different. And of course, if their qualifying tune is slightly different from their sprint race or feature race tune, then they'll be throwing the spanners at the car one last time before it goes to the rolling start grid here.
I just noticed one of the... Oh, sorry, go ahead, Alan.
Oh, I was just going to say the first few corners are going to be really interesting just as we're entering this later start or later stage of the championship, in that risk versus reward in regards to penalties, and we'll probably touch on that later, is going to be on full display right now. It's not worth spoiling your championship this late for a couple extra points when you have a few more races to go.
All right, so we're getting ready here. I'll let Toasty take it away as we start the round 4 at Laguna Seca.
So Ali, our new driver to the league, starting in pole position. Of course, this first race, no points to his name just yet. He's going to look to see if he can change that today. It's green lights. Or the lights are out. Yeah, go, go, go. Ali flying down through turn 1, that little left-hand kink, into the hairpin, Andretti hairpin, turn 2. And looks like everyone is pretty much single file through here. Racer trying to get a good drive out of the turn 2 exit. Looks like Ali is defending from Nixon there. And a bit on the dirt, I think. It's hard to tell from the camera angle. But Nixon slips into first place. Looks like Ali might have just gone a little wide there through turn 3.
Yeah, and into turn 3, it looked like the VIR Corvettes were side by side, so a little teammate battle going on there.
A racer now in 4th, trying to defend from Bryn in the VIR. It looks like he goes a little sideways through turn 6 mid-corner, and Bryn takes that opportunity up into 4th, the VIR Corvette. And Land King is the next car on his radar there. Ali back at the front, looks like he swept around the outside through turn 9.
I completely
looks like
missed
he's
that.
I'll
have to see if I can catch the replay on that one.
Looks like he's on the medium tires there.
Oh yeah, he's on the mediums. It's an interesting decision. I wonder if that was intentional or maybe a mistake. So Nixon dives down to the inside in turn 1, has the inside for turn 2. A little bit of contact there with Ollie into the Andretti hairpin. Ollie Bali concedes the position.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying the switch back there, but just didn't have enough grip on the front tires with that tire difference. But those mediums are going to come into their own towards the end of this race, I think, with the difference in tire wear Ollie's going to have in comparison.
So we got a nice little train going for 5th place. We got Kilopro, Smotsky, Dinosaur, and Beto all closely following each other. Beto takes a quick peek on the inside there at turn 6. He's kind of cheeky. I don't think he was actually going for it, but definitely poking, definitely letting Motsky know, or Dinosaur that he's there. Motsky in the inside of the pros into the corkscrew. Very nice move.
Do we know who's at the very end of the grid? It looks like we might have had a major off. They're just coming down the corkscrew now, last place.
Yeah, I think that's Racer X. Had an issue somewhere. Checking back with Sir Hames here, going on to lap 3. Currently in 11th place. Trying to find his way around Token Timmy there. Looks like he does so going into turn 2, trying to take the outside line. Oh, bit of contact there between him and Token Timmy. Managed to keep it on track though, so doesn't look like there's any damage between the two cars, and he can continue on. And 32 Nasty, meanwhile, already made it up into 8th place. Started 13th, just ahead of Sir Hames.
Yes, so I was watching, Beto was in front of him into the corkscrew, and then being stuck behind Dinosaur, Nasty was able to get around him. So your positioning, if you're in a train, is really important when you're going into the corkscrew, because you kind of get backed up pretty quickly when someone starts to brake towards the front of the train. You can actually find an opportunity to pass if you manage to stick your car alongside the train and brake into the corkscrew on the outside at the beginning. So sometimes if you're in a train, it's best to cover that off by just taking the inside anyway.
It's a great pass by Sir Hames into the final corner on Beto.
Oh, Lamb King nearly pulled off a great move for P2. Ended up going wide on the exit of the Andretti hairpin and into the sand, so it was almost a really good move, but then dropped back to 5th as a result, as a bit of dirty tires. And 32 is right on his bumper now.
Let's see if we can catch. Let's see if there's a replay of that. Oh yeah, there he goes.
Oh.
He had his car in front, just to be able to rotate that all the way through the corner.
Yeah, it's a difficult corner to kind of adjust your line, because it's already the tightest corner on the track, and you're basically full lock on the wheel, and sometimes you just can't get the car to turn any more than it already is, especially in a 4-wheel drive car like the Mazda.
Oh, it looks like.
Was it me, or that might have been a bit of contact?
Yeah, it looks like Motsky might have given him a little bump on the rear there. So that might end up being an incident being reported later after the race is over. Beto making a nice pass on the outside there. Oh no, it looks like I think that was. Looks like someone was spun out towards that corner there.
It's Bryn.
Yeah, it was Bryn. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Maybe getting a little frustrated there at the incident that happened at turn 9. Maybe his dirty tires as well made it easy for him to spin out at turn 11. Now I'm actually curious. Oh, go ahead.
A 2.4 second gap or so. Oh, down to 1.2 now between 4th and 5th place. Our championship leaders here are Hames and 32. 32 getting a bit stuck behind Motsky in turn 5, I think it is. Really having to put on the brakes, make sure he didn't go into the back. Oh, Motsky goes deep into the corkscrew there, and both cars pass by.
Looks like there's an intense battle going for 6th place right now. There's 4 cars tussling for position right now. So we got Beto and Dinosaur almost going too wide into the final corner. Now it's Token Timmy looking for an outside pass on Dinosaur into turn 11. Going side by side down the straight. Dinosaur will have the advantage. So I was going to say earlier, I wonder if the sand has a different effect on your tires if you go out into the sand versus like a grass track in terms of how dirty your tires are and how slippery they are.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
Killebro's there with a really poor exit at turn 4. Dinosaur manages to pass him. And you got the two Nismos falling really closely behind, side by
Still
side.
duking it out.
Yeah. Little bump there by Token Timmy. Slows him down up to the corkscrew, allows Ads to get side by him, but Token Timmy shuts the door, says no to his teammate.
Looks like 32's now to second place. I'm not sure if he's closing in on Nixon or not. Quite a big gap to him based on this image.
Yeah, it's going to be the last lap. They're crossing over the line now. Sir Hames really trying to get past, looks like he has done, past Ali there. And both of the Bahamut Subarus, well, Motsky did have a penalty, he served it just there.
So it looks like Ads, I think, was in the sand there, losing a bunch of positions. So Nixon, with a solid start to the sprint race, overtakes Ali Bali for first place and maintains the lead. Pulls a 10-second gap over 7 laps. Quite impressive. So really great drive for Nixon on his, I think his first win, right? This is his first sprint race because there wasn't one last week. Yeah. Excellent drive by 32 Nasty PSVR from, was it 13th place? And then Sir Hames, 14th.
Sir Hames from...
Yeah. Wow, close finish between Beto and Ali Bali there. Token Timmy crossing the line with Bishop closely behind, half a second. Killer Pros. Lamb King and Bryn almost side by side through the finish line there.
Yeah, just over a 10th difference between those two. And we have Ads and Racer X finishing up their race there. Sir Hames with the fastest lap.
All right, so let's take a look at the results one more time. First, let me save the replay, since I can do that now. Okay, so we have Nixon in first place, followed by Nasty PSVR in second, almost just above 10 seconds behind the leader. And then we have Sir Hames finishing out the podium with the fastest lap, a 1:29.077, so an extra point for Sir Hames. Motsky in fourth place, Beto in fifth, so both of the Avanti Corsa Hondas make the top 5. Ollie Bali in sixth, Dinosaur in seventh, Token Timmy in 8th place. Bishop in 9th place, Killer Pros in 10th, Lamb King in 11th. Bryn in 12th with that incident there down to turn 9, and then Ads unfortunately getting into the sand at turn 4, I believe. So unfortunate race for those two. And then Racer X, we didn't see what happened to him, but it looks like he spun out or something around the turn 4 or 5 area. So unfortunate race for them, but luckily this is the sprint race, so they'll get another chance to redeem themselves in the feature race. Ollie Bali in the chat says, "Man, was P2 till lap 5." Yeah, they had quite a battle there for quite a bit.
Yeah, him and his teammate Motsky were really holding off Sir Hames for a while there. I was wondering if they were going to be able to keep the position. Sirham's front right tire was completely gone by that point, of course, so yeah, it was good effort on defending there.
So we got a lot of a lot of new first time chats in Twitch chat right now. So the Nasty fan club is popping off right now.
Nice.
And
I
if you're
love it
curious,
when drivers have their own fans.
Yeah, it's the best.
if you're curious how that sprint race affected the championship, 32 Nasty walked away with more points at 8. Sir Hames would have had 7, but by locking up that fastest lap, he also gains 8. So no movement for either of our
Oh,
champion
man.
or either of our contenders. So
All right. So it's up to the feature race now. What about
Yeah,
the
this
team
is where
championship?
the team championship, Bahamut, leap. I don't remember if they were in first or not, but they are now in first with 86 points, and Hoonigan Honeys with 81, and Avanti Corsa with a great race jumps up to third with 79 points. Shinra with 66, Maelstrom with 61, Vet Intimidator with 45, and CrowdStrike with 42.
Nice. So yeah, Bahamut was in the lead going into the race. I think they were only in the lead by 3 points though, so it looks like they gained a little bit then. All right, so we'll hang tight for a little bit until we're ready to run the feature race. Alan, what do you think the strategies will be for the feature race?
I mean, I always love talking about like the pit length distance for each track. Laguna Seca is a very, very long one. It is about 22 seconds into the box and around another 20 seconds out of it into turn 2, where it dumps you off, dumps you almost a little dangerously. But to me, the one stop screams the optimal strategy, given some of the testing I did with the Shinner drivers. Two stop is also very fast as well. It's kind of the emerging meta we've seen over the few races in both GR4 and GR3 is if you have the pace, the multi-stop is the optimal strategy, but there's a lot of time to be gained if you know how to conserve your tires and fuel.
Yeah, and I think that's a great place to be in terms of strategy and how we set up the race, because I think it makes sense that the strategy that requires you to be pushing the car at maximum speed should be the faster strategy because it's harder to do. I think last season it was the opposite way around, where the one stopper was faster because the fuel rate was so low that it was actually faster just to conserve fuel.
Yeah, I think another interesting part of this, the strategy, is the track position. A lot of the times around this track, drivers will just get stuck behind one another because it is a very difficult track to pass on if you don't have like a acceleration or top speed advantage. It just makes it that much more difficult if they're on the same tire, especially if they don't have a tire advantage. It kind of takes making a move around a tight corner out of the equation, so comes down to that as well. Just yet another factor that drivers really won't experience until race day.
Yeah, I remember running the FTGP. I think it was earlier this year, actually, in January. And track position, I think I had a strategy where I did minimal amount of stops, but also was able to keep my lead with my tire strategy so that anyone who was behind me would get held up as long as possible without me battling. And I think that's a pretty good strategy to have if you're in the top 3. Okay, so we got the 30-second warning from Dinosaur, so we'll be starting the feature race very soon. Looks like the grid's set up and ready to go. This time we'll have a standing start instead of the rolling start as we just seen in the sprint race.
And it is a very tight grid. It's already kind of narrow going over the start-finish line, and the grid is uphill as well. So very difficult start. There's really not much room to go anywhere if if you end up having a good launch. Much better start than those in front, but we'll see how they deal with that here. And the false start, of course. Got to be careful of that. We have Sir Hames on the left side of the screen there, Beto on the right. And it's go, go, go at Laguna Seca. Sir Hames getting a good launch. Motsky as well, up into second place. Right around Beto. And it looks like Ollie's going to try and stick around the outside there into the turn 1 hairpin as well. Whoa, wow. Ollie goes very deep. Makes a dive there. I don't know if it was intentional, but gets passed right back by Beto there. Saw it coming, avoided the contact. Oh, and a bit more contact there from Ollie. Or was it Motsky, I think, that spun? Yeah, he's in the back
like
now with some
Motsky.
damage.
Yeah.
It also looked like Sir Hames got a 1 second penalty by going very wide going into turn 1. It's going to be crucial for him to get as much space as he can, but if he ends up serving it right at the beginning, or right at the end of lap 1 going onto the main straight.
Yeah, it looked like that was part of the avoidance there, and I think this might be a VSC.
Oh, looks like a red flag.
Oh. Yeah, red flag situation.
Wow. Very dramatic start to this race already.
Yeah, it's pretty crowded start there. If I can catch the replay coming in here. Yeah, it looks like tons of cars coming into turn 1 here. Replay cut short because the the race has been restarted. The screen said victory, Sir Hames.
Yeah, I wonder if that's a preview, maybe a clean race, fastest lap, and pole position.
Predicting who's gonna win. Yeah.
It looked to me like Sir Hames' 1 second penalty was because he went to avoid the incoming Subaru, kind of went wide to turn out from the corner, and ended up with a 1 second penalty. But all of that clean slate now, so start again.
Yeah, like we're talking about earlier, turn 1 is going to be very tricky with the grid start since everyone's going to be so close. I think the turn 1 in particular gives whoever has the inside of the grid a little bit more of an advantage because it gets you a little ahead going into turn 2 in the hairpin. But then because the hairpin is a double apex turn, a lot of cars kind of get wide in between or right at the center of the turn, and it kind of creates a situation where if you're trying to take the outside, you often get pushed out towards the exit of that turn. And so it's a little tricky in that regard when you're going through with 2 wide, potentially 3 wide.
Right. It reminds me a bit of turn 1 at Spa, actually, in the other direction, but
Yeah.
yeah, you kind of try and take the outside line. You're even a bit in front sometimes of the car on the inside, and you end up getting pushed wide because they either just had no idea you were there, or you just have a much less optimal line through there. Yeah, same kind of similar situation.
Yep. So for those just joining us, we started the feature race a couple minutes ago, but it got red flagged due to multiple incidents on turn 2, I think. Turn 2 3 and 4, actually. I think Motsky's spin happened at turn 3. So it looks like we're going to get underway here.
A lot of the times we'll see if there's an incident in turn 2 in the hairpin, the cars will bunch up trying to avoid it, and then it just makes turn 3 that much more difficult. We're hoping for a much cleaner start this time around, though. It's our second time on the grid. And lights coming on now.
That was pretty interesting. So starting it started me with the replay inside of a replay view, because the last race that quit I was in replay mode, so like it started me in replay mode when I started spectating.
Oh wow.
I'm suspecting we might have a glitch too.
Can you guys see can you spectate, or I can see it fine?
I can spectate, yeah, but it looks like there's a glitch going on. It says like 1 position out of 0. There's no lights.
Oh, there were lights for me. I can see 14 on track, so it must just be your view there, Wonka.
That's unfortunate. It looks like the race hasn't even started for me. Has the race started for you, or is it everyone's just sitting in the grid?
It's lap 1 of 38. Ali is in first right now. He made the same kind of dive through turn 1.
So let me go restart and rejoin this lobby real quick. We'll be right back.
In the background, it's Racer X. Oh no. Another incident there. Might have just been a mistake on his part, but back into last place. Not been a great day for Racer. Maybe this isn't his favorite track.
All right, sorry about that.
Incredible work, Toasty.
Yeah, sorry about that technical outage that we had there. So I learned something new about GT7. If you end a lobby or a race in replay mode and then you join back in, it will mess up your replay or mess up your spectator mode. So let's not do that again.
Seems like that's what happened there. Oh, Ali going wide again through turn 9 and 10. Oh, he is really not liking that corner. Lost a few more places. Oh,
no,
contact
it looks like
with
an incident
Beto.
there, yeah. So little Jacob with the commentators curse in chat saying Bahamut number 1 and 2. And as soon as he typed that in, it was Ollie going wide there.
Yeah, Ali's not having the best time on those hard tires. I think it was the switch from, I think he was on softs for the sprint, and Motsky was on mediums. I can't remember, but the switch onto a harder compound.
Ollie was on the mediums for the sprint race.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I believe he was the only one to do it, but yeah, he still switched to a harder compound.
So Motsky's fan club in the chat. Go Motsky. first time chat from
Nice.
Lilia VA 218.
Yeah, currently in the lead, 1.5 second gap back to 32, and setting the fastest lap as well so far, getting some purple sectors in there. He's got the championship, one of the championship leaders here in the Group 4 class, setting the fastest lap by 100th, I think it said, above Motsky. So see if Motsky can deal with the pressure here as 32 gets a bit closer.
We're currently riding on board with the other Avanti Corsa Honda, about half a second behind Sir Hames, putting the pressure on. Beto qualifying at second place, starting this race in second place, behind Sir Hames actually. So both of them lost out 2 positions. Looks like Sir Hames is on the hards, and Beto is on the mediums.
Kilopros there was taking a bit of an odd line up to the corkscrew. It looks like it lost him a bit of speed. Dinosaur trying to look around the outside there through turn 9. Knew that wasn't going to work. He's on the hard tires. So just hanging back there. Didn't want to go side by side and lose too much time to those in front. He had a great exit out of the last corner there, Dinosaur. And now side by side with Kilopros.
He's got the inside in turn 1, into the braking zone in turn 2. Is he going to make it stick, though? He goes deep, and Kilopros, yep, covers the center of the hairpin and maintains his position.
Yeah,
So great pass
made sure
by Dinosaur.
to keep the inside line through the second apex there, so that the up and under couldn't happen.
Yeah. So just up ahead we have Token Timmy and his teammate Ads. So once again the Nismo cars are battling each other for position in the race. And just up ahead we have Ali Bali and Nixon almost side by side entering the corkscrew. A little contact there sends Nixon almost off the track limits, but maintains his lead. Let's find out if he gets a penalty for that. I think he's in the clear.
So 3 cars in relatively close proximity there for second place. 32 leading that little train there. And Motsky has gone off into the distance a little bit. 3-second lead for him. A bit more than that, but is using a lot of tires. So these 3 behind just conserving a bit more and waiting for the right opportunity to come back into it there.
Yeah, it's interesting looking at the tire wear on the front right. It looks like Sir Hames with the hard tires has just about the same amount of tire wear on his front right tire as 32 Nasty PSVR does on mediums. So definitely the Mazda's having a little trouble there with tire wear. Beto taking a look at the inside at turn 10, making his presence known to Sir Hames. Sir Hames takes the center line there to defend. And Beto, not taking advantage of the wide line on the outside, stays directly behind Sir Hames through turn 11.
Yeah, so Sir Hames having to defend a little bit there, gave the chance for 32 to drive up the road a bit.
I feel like Beto's tires just lost 10% of grip, or in the meter, in the span of half a lap. When he was coming down the corkscrew, it looked like he was close to like 75%. Now he's near 60% on that front right. Went a little deep in a few corners.
I think the key difference though is the front right and rear right look at about the same. So the balance on that car going into corners, mid-corner, corner exit is going to be relatively the same. Well, as Sir Hames, it's going to be just understeer, a lot of understeer.
Yeah, and speaking of understeer, he goes deep into turn 9. Has to slow the car down a lot to rotate that car to make the turn. Allows Beto to get right up on his rear there. Looks at the inside there. Doesn't make a move, but again, making its presence known to Sir Hames, hoping that Sir Hames will make some kind of mistake. But Sir Hames soaking in the pressure and not making any mistakes so far.
And at the front now, we're starting to see the effect of Motzke's tire wear. That gap dropped to about a second momentarily as Motzke went very deep into turn 2.
Yeah, it looks like he's having trouble at turn 5 as well. That gap now 0.7 seconds to Nasty PSVR.
Yeah, look at just how much more speed 32 has through turn 5 up to turn 6 now. Doesn't want to try a move into there.
I feel like we're witnessing a battle of the drivetrains right now, MR versus all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Yep. And Nasty makes the pass up the, I think, Rahal Straight, making quick work of Motzke, but Motzke getting a little contact there, bumping Nasty through the corkscrew. Again, it looked like he might have cut the corner, but seeing as there was contact, maybe there's no penalty given.
Looks like there's a 1 second penalty for Motzke on my screen there.
Yeah, okay. So Motzke chooses not to pit this lap. And let's see if he'll be able to maintain his lead in front of Sir Hames and Beto as well through the next lap. We got quite a bit of a battle going on further down the grid. There's Dinosaur, Dinosaur, Token Timmy, and Killer Pros all within about a second and a half of each other. And then further down we have Bishop and Ollie Bolly. Bishop on the hards. Ollie Bolly also on the hards, but Ollie Bolly's hards are his front right. It just like Motzke's is absolutely cooked on the front right.
Oh wow.
And Bishop nearly has any tire wear.
They basically look new.
Yeah.
It looks like he just started the race.
Yeah, it's almost as if he like made a pit stop already. Like if I'd seen the difference in tire wear, I would have guessed that Bishop had already made a pit stop.
Doesn't look like he has based on the timing board there on the right on his laps.
Yeah, I think he's just been out this entire time, just conserving his tires. So, really good job by Bishop conserving his tire wear. Making those tires last. I think he will potentially go for a one-stopper, it seems.
Motzke has come in to change tires, so I think that puts him for, what is it, 3 stops? If he does all mediums the
Yeah,
whole
about
time.
3-stop, yeah.
And Ollie pitting to get rid of those hard tires. Oh
Those
man, nine laps on the hards. Yeah.
Yeah, that's brutal.
I imagine Sir Hames might be coming in as well too. Last time we checked on him, but he's known to go pretty long though, even though the tire is bald.
Yeah,
Oh, I
we've seen
forget.
him. We've seen him drive multiple laps on basically no front tires before. What were you gonna say, Alan? Sorry.
Oh, I was just saying. Sir Hames is running the racing hards, whereas I believe both Bahamut's were on the racing mediums. Oh, sorry, Ollie was on the hards and stripped them down to the bone in 9
Right.
laps.
It's funny because I forget how much of the LRC members over time have learned in terms of fuel and tire conservation in all of our academy sessions. So when someone new comes in who doesn't have the same experience, hasn't been, into any of the academy sessions where we do the tire wear exercises, it's tough for them to jump into the league and be competitive on the basis of tire wear and fuel consumption. So Ollie Bali jumping right into the league and having to conserve his tires maybe without any prior knowledge is what's affecting him this race.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Drivers who maybe all they've done is the daily short sprint races, and then they jump into an endurance race with a lot of tire wear. And yeah, exactly that. It's certainly a shock when you see that tire meter go down and you go, oh no, how do I drive this car now?
Yep. And sometimes you just see other people and they're like, how are they still out there with the same tire compound? And Nixon there getting a little squirrely at the exit of the corkscrew into turn 9 was almost side by side with Bryn, I believe, up the back straight into the corkscrew. Looking for an opportunity to pass, potentially down the front straight. And just ahead, we have Beto looking at the inside there of Sir Hames's car, but again, Sir Hames has been solid this entire time, not giving a single inch or an opening for Beto to potentially pass him.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm looking at Sir Hames' fuel right now, and he still has over half a tank. So he's definitely going for the one stop here, I would think, just based on the amount of fuel he's conserved. But he's also defending from Beto, so I know at this point that the drivers, like, they wouldn't know what each other's strategies are. Maybe Sir Hames just thinks Beto's on the same strategy as he is and has to defend. But of course, at this point, it would benefit him to just let Beto by.
Yeah, it'd be interesting
I'm trying
to
to
see.
wonder who's. Go ahead.
Oh,
Juan.
go ahead. Oh, I was gonna say it'd be interesting to see how Sir Hames's times get affected if he's going for the one stopper once his tires on the front right reach essentially the depleted level. Because if it doesn't change that much, oh, Beto looks to the inside there, makes a dive, but Sir Hames with a switcheroo and overtaking Beto on the exit of turn 11. Epic move there.
Very nice. Yeah, Beto has been taking a look on that last corner for many laps now, and finally tried it, and Sir Hames was ready for it. So Bryn into the pits. From 6th place, I believe, or 5th place he was running. We'll see where he comes out there. Just looking at 5th and 6th now, Ads and Dinosaur. It looks like about the same situation between 2nd and 3rd, with the difference in strategy there. Ads with very worn medium tires use a bit more fuel than Dino has. So I wonder if Dino's going for the one stop as well.
Yeah, Elaine, I think you were spot on there with the one stopper being a very strong strategy today at Laguna Seca.
There's a clear divide between who's doing what. I mean, for some of our newer viewers, anytime we have like a lap count of however many laps, in this case 38, usually drivers will kind of divide the race into 3 parts for a 2-stop, or they'll divide the race into 2 parts for a 1-stop, and that's pretty simple arithmetic. 38 divided by 3 is roughly 13, 13, and 12. So the next time we can see some pit stops by those that are pitting right now is around like lap 26, maybe 27 if they can stretch the tire. But coming around lap 18 to 20, we'll see our one-stoppers pit, all depending on how long they can stretch that fuel. The name of the game, it looks like in this race, is how little time can they spend in the pits. With a one-stop, you're going to spend an astronomical time in the pits, because for all that time you stay out, you need to get a larger amount of fuel to get back out, and you'll sacrifice track position, which we're seeing is incredibly crucial for this race. I feel like similar to our other races, a lot of battles are just in duos at this point, and all of these duos, I'm wondering who's losing out, either by defending too aggressively or attacking too aggressively. In the case of Ads right now, about to lose his position. Nope, Dinosaur still keeps it behind, but man, this is a really interesting race.
Nixon now, I think, making his first stop. I don't think no, he hasn't pit since, so he took the mediums 14 laps.
Okay, so that looks like maybe a 2-stopper then for Nixon.
Yeah, maybe even softs at the end. 14 laps on the mediums, probably do 10 laps on the softs.
So Killapros and Nixon to the pits. Dinosaur still trying to make quick work of Ads, but unable to. Lost a little bit of time there due to the battling. He's got a clear tire advantage though, but Ads, again, still able to stay in front. And with Sir Hames as well, still staying in front of Beto. So again, track position at Laguna Seca is very crucial. And like you were saying, I think this strategy is just simply affecting whoever's behind, I think, to me.
Yeah, I think so far in the duos we've seen there's like this interesting ebb and flow where the attacker or the driver in front will come under attack for about 2 laps, and it seems like their tires will be drop off a little more aggressively because they're trying to defend. But it seems like they realize after a couple laps or 2, like, I really don't need to be pushing this hard. They're not able to make the move just by me planting the car where it needs to be to defend. And as a result, the attacking driver kind of falls into a negative feedback loop. They push harder to try and make the overtake, but all they're doing is wearing more fuel and tires.
Yep. Yeah, completely agreed. Seeing Beto's tire wear in relation to Sir Hames, he had better tire wear and with a softer compound up until they started battling, and then Beto's tires just immediately started going away as soon as he's tried to make that overtake on Sir Hames.
So Sir Hames and Beto coming through traffic now. Looks like a few blue flags being waved. It's taken Beto a few more corners to get past Killapros in front on track there. Killapros, of course, in 14th.
Yeah, a little tricky there, especially for the leading cars to make the overtake with completely dead tires against the new cars that have just recently pitted with fresher tires. So,
Right. Speaking of pit stops, 32 is in on lap 16 with those medium tires.
yep. And then
Beto
Beto's
as well.
hits as well. So it looks like the Avanti Corsa Hondas are on the same strategy. Sir Hames continues stint down with that absolutely destroyed front right tire. Looking to make it probably till lap 19. Dinosaur, now clear of ads, is also able to continue.
Yeah, this is really going to help Dinosaur's race because there is so much clean air ahead of him now. He can just focus on putting in clean laps, and B-Ship as well just behind. B-Ship's going to go up to third now. And if he can get out, if he can stay ahead before 32, it looks like, yeah, 32 will still be in, still getting fuel. Yeah, so that'll be interesting. First, second, and third all on the same strategy right now. And then basically everyone behind on the 2-stop or even 3-stop.
Yeah, so Sir Hames in a very good position right now with a 30-second lead over Dinosaur on the one-stopper. I think Dinosaur and B-Ship, they'll probably, depending on how the strategy plays out, they might be contenders for top 5. I think Sir Hames firmly in the lead, the net lead at the moment.
Yeah, 32 out of the pits, about halfway around, is outlap now. 51 seconds to make up to Sir Hames.
Yeah, and since they both have to pit in at the rest of the race, the only difference in their time is going to be the fueling time, which is still going to be not a 51-second difference.
Right. And we were talking about before Sir Hames' difference in lap time from when he started to a dead front right tire. It's only about 2 seconds, so around 132.0 while getting past traffic, so he's not having a difficult time at all.
Yeah, so it looks like 32 Nasty, his current lap times, or at least the lap times before he pitted in, well, he was running in the mid 131s. Sir Hames, his last lap was a 131.9, but the one before that one was a 133. Puts a 132.5 in his last lap, so definitely affecting him quite a bit. So let's say on average, he loses out on maybe 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds per lap compared to the other strategy. Oh, goes wide there, following, I think that's Motsky, wide into turn 3. Okay, so if he loses about 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds for the rest of the race, which you got about, let's say, 20 laps, that adds up anywhere between 30 to 40 seconds. So net lead is still 10 seconds or so, 11 seconds.
There's a question in chat about how B-Ship is doing. B-Ship and Dinosaur are both definitely on the one-stop strategy and are probably, again, looking at a top 5 finish at this point. It really depends on what the final stints for both 32 and Beto are going to be. Judging how long they went on the mediums, I definitely think a final stint on the softs is the likely scenario. But it also depends on how close Sir Hames comes out after his pit stop, which he just dives into the pits to do.
Yeah, I thought that was his in lap. It looked like he was pushing a bit to use the very last of the tires there.
The very last of nothing on his front right.
Yeah.
We might see all of our top 3 pit this lap if I guessed correctly. Maybe a little bit longer. It could depend on fuel. And sometimes, as a driver, you just like, you know what? I can go a little bit longer. I'm feeling good about this. If I can stretch it, why not?
Yeah, Dinosaur's staying out. And Bishop is too, so both of them, they have some tire left, some fuel left, and they're gonna keep going. Dinosaur into the lead at the moment. He was talking all week about how this is his favorite track on the calendar, if not in the game. I'm sure he's enjoying it right now.
Oh, Nixon there swerves wide to avoid Motsky, rear-ending Motsky into turn 2. He's got damage from a previous incident on his front right and his front bumper, so definitely not ideal for him. Probably affecting his steering, but not in that corner. He overtakes Motsky at turn 4, taking the inside. Motsky potentially making a mistake there.
And judging by the timing table, it looks like Beto was able to do, I believe it's called the overcut, by passing Sir Hames out of the pit. He's now second, 1.8 seconds ahead of Sir Hames. Finally getting that overtake done.
Yeah, that's certainly key for Beto since his strategy is going to be a 2-stopper. So being stuck behind Sir Hames is definitely not good for him. I think being stuck behind Sir Hames the first stint has potentially reduced his chances for getting... I think he'll potentially still be in the podium, but I think... yeah, it definitely slowed him down in relation to Nasty. So we got the 2 Maelstrom Nissans battling once again. Somehow always end up next to each other in all the races. And it looks like with fairly, no, I'd say, I wasn't going to say equal strategy, but it looks like Token Timmy's got a little bit more fuel consumption, a little bit more tire wear. Goes deep into turn 2. Ad's not being able to take advantage of it.
Dinosaur pits with just 2% fuel remaining, able to stretch it out 21 laps.
Wow, yeah. Looks like he was doing low 34s at the end there.
So Bryn catching up with the 2 Nissans into the corkscrew. Going to be a 3-way battle here for 7th place. Token Timmy taking the inside there, defending the inside line. Ads taking the outside, but also potentially opening the door for Bryn down the straight. Compromising his exit.
Some great speed here. Did not help either of the Maelstrom Motorsport cars to battle each other into that last corner. Bryn almost looked like he was going to take the inside line there on Ads, but chose to back out. Looks like further up here in third place, Motsky has a 1.5 second penalty he picked up last lap, so he's going to have to serve that now, which is probably going to put him behind Sir Hames as well as Beto. Yep, so both cars getting past there. And Sir Hames now focusing on third place. The Avanti Corsa ahead of him has been his rival all race. Beto again has to make up a lot of time on that Mazda because he has to... does he have to pit again? Maybe.
He does, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he will.
Oh yeah, he doesn't have much... Well, he has half a tank of fuel, but that's not enough to finish the race, most likely.
So Bishop coming up behind Kilopros with fresh tires and almost a full tank. Bishop has been pacing around the 133 lap times, and Kilopros has been slightly slower these last few laps, about a 134. So Bishop looking to potentially make the overtake in the next few laps. And this is what we were talking about in terms of track position. Bishop right now might not be currently racing against Kilopros because Kilopros is probably have to make a second stop, but Kilopros might slow Bishop down about half a second per lap, and so that might affect Bishop's potential in finishing in the top 5, because over the course of the rest of the race, that's almost 7-10 seconds or so total, so a lot of time to be lost there. Bishop looking at the inside though, potentially looking to make the move into the corkscrew, takes the inside, makes it stick.
Oh, nice.
Very nice move.
Commentator's blessing, Wonka. Well done.
Gets it done before turning into the corkscrew. That's exactly what you want as a driver.
I think that's one of the things that makes... Oh no, Kilopros.
Oh no.
Very, very... luckily though, there's no damage to Bishop's car.
Yeah, Kilopros there got
comes out unscathed, yeah.
His right side tires into the sand in the braking zone, and that spun him right around. There was nothing he could do at that point. He was just... Oh, dirty tires as well.
Oh, looks
no.
like,
I think we just saw another off.
Yeah, it's similar like we were talking about before. It's kind of this negative feedback loop. Once you get a tire on the sand and you go into the sand, it's easier to spin your car out. It's easier to lose that grip. It's easier to go back into the sand. So
right
after you go off, you kind of need to take the next few corners extremely slow to make sure your car doesn't slip off into the sand again.
It's the hardest thing to do, but it's the worst thing you can do is to try and push to make up time immediately, because then you're just back in the sand again, like you're saying.
Yeah, and you can see there he's having difficulty keeping the rear end of the car under control due to those dirty tires. Yeah, luckily neither of them got any damage for that. And so the worst that happened is Bishop losing a couple seconds there at turn 11. Looks like Token Timmy dropped back to 7th place. Was overtaken by Ads and Bryn. Dinosaurs following closely behind.
NLR Nixon up in 2nd place. He's been carrying damage for a while now. Looks like it's affecting the handling of his car a little bit. Gonna be slower on the straight here. I think Beto's gonna gain a lot of time, had a much cleaner exit on the last corner. Just set his best lap time, 1:30.1. I think this is gonna be Beto up to second place pretty soon. Well, 32 goes a bit wide there, through turn 10. Puts his left hand tires into the sand. Keeps it mostly on track though.
I'm just taking a look at the track map right now. You could see obvious pairs for pretty much throughout the track. Some of them are very close together. It's just interesting how track position is playing a lot bigger role than I thought it would than, like, say, Interlagos or Bathurst.
Yeah. Oh, Beto in third, very close now to Nixon. And they're
Both
coming
of
up to the
them-
lapped car of
Yep.
Killapros. Go up the Rahal straight now. Nixon has to dive to the right to get around that Corvette. And I don't think Beto's going to be able to get past before the corkscrew here, no. Takes the inside in turn 9 though, so
And that was very strategic for Beto to pass at turn 9. I think if he wasn't going to make the move there, he'd be stuck behind Killapros for another two corners. So making sure he stays with Nixon.
yeah, that was well navigated. Only a couple tenths lost. Even though that wasn't the ideal situation for him, Nixon had a bit easier of a time. So
it's-
checking in with Sir Hames, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Currently in 4th place, Sir Hames. 12-second gap, 12.5 second to 32 in front, and 10 laps to go, so it's looking pretty good here for him.
I was just going to make a comment about the British space aerospace. Oh no, it looks like Nixon goes off into the corkscrew. And Beto will get the pass done. And Beto, or Sir Hames now, will be right behind Nixon, but I think Nixon might be end up pitting this lap. Because he's got virtually no fuel left. Yep, and into the pits he goes.
Curious to see Nixon's pace after he got that damage fixed. Probably going to be on the soft tires from this point out, like we were saying before.
And Bryn as well. So Bryn currently running in 5th place right now, still needing to make a pit stop. It seems running the hards probably could go for another 3 or 4 laps. So he'll have a short stint on the softs. in the closing laps of the race. So Ads following closely behind, less than a second.
Alright, Nixon not taking much fuel then. Only 54% in the fuel tank, but he's got the softs on.
Oh,
Well, it looks
no,
like there
looks
was
like,
a bit of an incident
yeah.
there with Bryn.
So Bryn just went off into, I think he had a tire into the dirt there and understeered just off of turn 1. I don't think there was any contact made or anything. It's unfortunate. Poor luck for both of the VIR Chevrolets in this race so far. Killapro's having some trouble earlier in the race.
Yeah, it looks like that put Dinosaur up into 6th place though. He's running a clean race so far.
Yeah, so Dinosaur's race right now is with Nixon. So actually no, Nixon already just pit, so Nixon with his pace might end up being ahead of Dinosaur for the rest of the race, but Ads and Beto still need to pit. And Nasty.
Right.
But Nasty seems like he's got a pretty decent lead. Or maybe not, though. If he needs a pit, that's like a pretty big delta. So maybe Dinosaur might come out into the podium positions. Potentially 3rd place here. So looking good for Dinosaur at the moment.
Yeah, I'm thinking Nixon is definitely in a position for a podium, if not maybe even 2nd place here. He's starting to fly around the track on those softs.
Ooh, 32 opting not to pit this lap. Already running dangerously close on fuel. He's probably going to come in with nothing left in the tank.
I noticed that in the game, the low fuel indicator is based off of, I think, percentage. So if you have a high conserving fuel strategy, it may seem like you're about to run out of fuel, but you're actually not wasting that much fuel every lap. So we'll see when he comes around turn 10. So we got Dinosaur the one-stop strategy, and it looks like we'll have Motsky might be ready to go for the rest of the race, but B-Ship also ready to go for the rest of the race. So unfortunately, B-Ship wasn't able to get ahead of Motsky with his one-stopper. But Bryn still needs the pit. Ads dives into the pits just now. Beto and Nasty still need a pit. And Bryn. Did I say Bryn? I think I said Bryn.
Yeah. Oh, that was very close.
That was very, very close, yeah. So our leader, 32 Nasty PSR VR, into the pits. As with Beto, the same team strategy. It will be key to see where they end up on their out lap, but I assume that they'll come out with sauce with a lot more pace than the cars ahead of them. So Dinosaur is quite a few ways back still.
I think he might just come out ahead.
The battling with Bryn certainly is not helping his pace right now. So Nasty switching to the softs, and at this point is exiting the pit, so he'll come out ahead of Dinosaur. And ahead of Nixon. 32 Nasty in a pretty good position.
Nixon is basically side by side with Beto here, coming into turn 3. They are side by side into turn 3.
Yeah, makes the overtake, so Beto not able to make any sort of effort there for defense. Even with those soft tires, those tires are going to be cold coming out of the pits.
Ooh, the two Shinras. Oh no. I thought that was the two Shinras about to make contact.
So about a good 13-second lead over Dinosaur. Beto's got a 13-second lead over Dinosaur. So Dinosaur's still currently in 5th place. Looking at a top 5 finish. Sir Hames in a comfortable lead right now with 32 seconds ahead of 32 Nasty PSVR. That's oddly satisfying. So the question will be if Nixon can hold off Beto. Both are currently running soft tires and a very light fuel load, so that'll be a tight battle to the end there. Looks like, I think that's Lamb King getting out of the way for both of our runners.
Eds is closing in on Bishop here. Eds on the soft tires, Bishop on those hards. He's been, I think, when did Bishop hit? Lap 20?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's had those tires on for 13 laps now. Eds pretty much fresh offs. Just let by the leader there, Sir Hames. Gonna try and follow him through to Bishop.
It's quite a convenient position there for ads to be able to follow the leading car, take their lines, just kind of stay close, have him help you and tow you along the straights to get closer to Bishop.
So Sir Hames on to lap 35 now. That makes it 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 4 laps to go for everyone.
Nixon there getting a little wide into turn 9.
It always throws me off with the 1 extra lap that you're on, you have to count.
Beto now looking for every opportunity he can to put the pressure onto Nixon, force a mistake. Nixon takes the inside line there to defend into turn 2, takes a wide exit, and Beto's not able to capitalize on it. Although Nixon's tires are starting to degrade fairly quickly. His right front there is about 50%. Beto getting alongside. Again, Nixon has to defend into turn 5. Turn 6 being an incredibly difficult place to overtake, so you lose a lot of ground if you're really close to the car in front of you. Again, Nixon goes deep into the corkscrew. Beto able to catch up. Takes a look at the inside, turn 9 again. Not able to make it stick.
Oh, yeah, I think there might have been a little bump there between him and Beto. Lifting off immediately kind of caused some oversteer there. And that mid-engine car had to catch a slide.
So it looks like Ads was able to get past Bishop. I think this was maybe a lap ago. Already a second and a half in front.
Yeah, it really is just sticking to the back of that Mazda.
So Racer X with a relatively quiet race today, sitting currently at 11th place with Ali Bali fairly close behind. Dinosaur in between them looking to make an overtake for, looks like, yeah, trying to lap them. And Lamb King not far behind, 2 seconds. And Killer Pro is about 3 seconds behind him, so the back of the grid here, still a lot to fight for positions and valuable points for the team's Constructors Championship.
That really great persistence from
looks like
from Racer.
Nixon spins the car on turn 11, is stuck right now sideways.
Oh.
Yeah, he has a sizable gap to Dinosaur, so hopefully he'll be able to recover, take home 4th.
Having trouble rotating the car. There you go, getting settled there. Dinosaur also almost running into the pits there, going wide into turn 10. Luckily he avoided the pit entrance, otherwise that would have been terrible for his race, but Motsky is fairly close behind, now 3 seconds. So Surhaim's just starting his final lap of the race.
Just behind him, it looked like Bishop and Ads were fighting for that position as well.
Yeah, it looks like Bishop has caught up. And for them, it's also the final lap, being behind Surhaim's.
Looks like Dino has to defend from Motsky, Ads, and just Motsky behind him for another lap there, making it onto the last lap. Ads meanwhile around the last corner with Surhaim's.
So Surhaim's once again takes it from the checkered flag, or the start of the race, from the lights to checkered flag. A solid race by Sir Hames, extending his lead in the championship. 32 Nasty PSVR, once again, second place. Crossing the line about 17 seconds behind our leader. And a 3-2 finish for Avanti Corsa Beto with his best finish yet in the feature race. A third place finish by him. Well done, Beto.
Yeah, it's going to be incredible for the Honda team points there.
Yeah, so their two-stop strategy ended up playing out pretty well against the one-stoppers in the midfield. And Nixon might have had taken the podium if he didn't spin out on turn 11. That was quite a close battle between him and Beto. They had very similar tire wear and fuel consumption, so solid finish by Nixon. Unfortunate for him. Dinosaur with a 5th-place finish. So epic finish by Dinosaur, able to keep it together in front of Motski in 6th place. Almost losing it there.
Or not Dinosaur, Racer barely holding off Ollie and Lamb King to keep 12th place. Great persistence from him in an early on incident. Stayed with it though.
All right, so let's take a look at our provisional results. So we caught the top 10. Let me just go over them one more time. So Sir Hames in first place, 32 Nasty PSVR in second, and Beto and the other Avanti Corsa Honda in third place for your podium finishers. Nixon in fourth place grabs the fastest lap point with a 128.86. So he will be picking up another point for his championship standings. Dinosaur in fifth place. I think that's the best finish Dinosaur has had in the season so far. So congratulations to Dinosaur, an epic drive by him for the Broadstrike Racing Lexus team. Motski in sixth. And before we continue, let me just save the replay. Oh no, I can't save the replay. Oh well.
I got it.
Ads in seventh, Bishop in eighth, Token Timmy in ninth place, Bryn in 10th. Followed by the other VIR Racing Chevrolet Corvette, Kilopros, Racer X in 12th, Ollie Bali in 13th, and Lamb King in 14th. All right. So in terms of current championship standings, I don't know, Alan, if you've got the results and put them in yet.
Yeah, I just put them in. Right now, your driver standings, Sir Hames extends his lead to 91 points to 32 Nasty's 80 points. Bishop remains in third place with 50 points. I don't know his previous position, but Beto made a big jump ahead and is now in fourth with 44. Ads with 41. Little Jacob remains at 39. Dinosaur with 36. Timmy 34. Motski also with 34. Nixon with just a few sub-drives is 10th place with 31 points. Bryn with 23. Killer Pros at 18. Racer X with 14. Rogue Nipro with 13. Trackhead with 11. And Lamb King with 11. And with one drive under his belt, Ollie Bali has 6 points to his name. In the team standings, Avanti Corsa now leads the championship with 111. Hoonigan Honeys Racing has 102. And Bahamut drops to third with 97 points. Shinra just on the cusp of the podium with 87 points. Maelstrom with 75. CrowdStrike with 56. And Vet Intimidator rounds us out with 54 points total. Those are all provisional, so there could be some standing changes, but a big mix-up race.
Yeah, definitely. And seems like the field has tightened up a bit. So we will take a break, and then we'll end the stream, and then we'll start it back up again for the GR3 class coming to you in just a little bit. So please hang tight.